today, this is an impromptu live stream talking about getting good. Get good at outreach, especially if you're a WordPress company. What I'm going to do right now is just spend a moment sharing this out. I haven't even told anyone that I'm doing this. So let me just get this out into, let's play a little bit of music, right? Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's throw a little bit of music right there while we do this here. I'm just doing a little impromptu live stream. So those of you, oh yeah, those of you in the future listening to this, apologize for the start of this, but we're going to just share this out, let folks know that we're live. Do, 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 do. All right. We're going to be jumping around a little bit today. Woke up this morning with a lot of spam. A lot of spam from companies in the WordPress space outreaching to me for primarily my website right here at the WPminute.com. And that's fine. Totally fine. Get this often. I'm sure you do as well if you have a WordPress blog, a WordPress podcast, maybe something adjacent to WordPress. You're a product reviewer, you're a YouTuber, and people say, hey, she's making great content about WordPress. She's writing great blog posts. He's doing some amazing reviews. Let me reach out to that person and get my product or service front and center with their audience, okay? And that's totally cool. It's totally fine. It's just people have to level it up. You just got to level it up a little bit more. And by leveling it up, it might actually just come down to caring a bit more. One should care a bit more when they're doing outreach. And especially if they're hiring somebody or they're assigning this to somebody on the team to do outreach. So let's just talk about caring. Okay? Let's not talk about my terrible handwriting. Let's talk about caring a bit more, which I can understand as a business owner. If I zoom out, there's a lot of folks out there who say, hey, Matt, there's no time to care. We're running a business. It's formulas, it's equations, it's dollars and cents. It's the bottom line. At the end of the day, if I put X into this spreadsheet and calculate it to the Z column, at the end of the day, I should have 28.5% profitability with all of the cogs I threw into this machine. It's fine. But caring can go a lot further in the business. There's something in the podcasting world and that we talk about quite often. Like when I'm talking about people, hey, should I start a podcast? Should I build in public? Should a founder have a personal brand? Right? Again, don't heckle my handwriting. I've never used this on the live stream before. And by the way, if you have questions, comments, concerns, leave them in as we live stream. If you're a WordPress product owner, please share this out. So, podcasters, founders, people say, do I need this personal brand? Do I build in public? Do I waste my, air quotes, waste my time? Waste my time doing this stuff? Is there an ROI on this? And for me, a personal brand means you're getting personal. People connect with you. Your brand, your product, your services, your ideals, your mission statement, how you represent your product or service. To me, these are the important things, right? Especially in the face of so much AI, so much automation, so much dollars and cents, so much formulas. I want to get personal with my audience, with my customers. And personal brand is very important for me. it creates what's known as, I think anyway, and I don't know who coined this term that I've talked about before, and I've seen some other folks back. I just boot myself from my own stream. Here we go. Share that one more time. I told you we're gonna get crazy here. I've seen people talk about this before, surface luck area. And when you're podcasting, people say, oh, what's the ROI on podcasting? What's the ROI on building in public? Very difficult to measure these things. But the more you show up, the more you do it, it enhances the ability to create more luck for yourself. It's this surface luck area. The more you show up, the more you do things which are difficult, which are not scalable to a degree, especially you as the founder, you as the personal brand, the things that are harder to automate and create and to stand out, you put in the work, you increase this surface luck area. It's not a pay-per-click campaign. It's not SEO. It's not ads. It's not product. It's showing up and doing the work and connecting with others, building that personal brand, creating content, doing live streams, doing podcasts. All of this stuff creates that surface luck area, which enhances your ability to make connections, network with other people, become personal. Personal. Put the personal back in personal branding, right? And all of that is super valuable. You can't measure it. It's hard to measure, but it is valuable to your company, valuable to your audience, and valuable to your brand, right? So I'm going to say, how do I change colors here? Green. So this is valuable, but hard. Valuable, but hard. And when you're somebody doing this, when you're creating that brand, when you're creating content, especially in the WordPress space, where personal brand, where trust is so high, it's not always about views and clicks and size of the audience. At least, it shouldn't be, in my opinion, because this is a very interesting space where a lot of people care about the products and the services that they're recommending, that they're offering, that they're collaborating with. And when you do outreach to brands like myself, let's say like the WP Mayor, like Bob WP, it's important that you understand that that personal brand, or even if they're trying to go a step up, like when I started out in this space, I had a podcast called The Matt Report, mattreport.com, ran that for like 10 plus years. The challenge with that, running that brand from like a real business sense, is it was just me. My name was literally in the brand. And I wanted to remove myself and become, and just build an umbrella brand, a real brand, air quotes, a real brand that disassociated my name and my face with that brand. Thus, the WP Minute was born. But the idea is when you go to outreach to these folks, me, the colleagues that I've mentioned, you have to realize what they've invested into their brand. You have to realize for most of them anyway, the level of care that they put into their content, whether they're curating, creating, broadcasting, resharing. You have to be able to understand, like, that's another human that I need to interact with. And before we go any further, I've seen outreach from two different in two different places, right? So if I go outreach, I saw it, I see it. I 3.5 years at a company called Pagely. And now I work at a company called Gravity Forms. Can't even spell Gravity Forms. And I had my own plugin business, which I won't list here. So I've seen outreach from a B2B sense. And I've seen it from what I'll call the audience perspective. And the B2B side is, hey, I work for Gravity Forms. Maybe I can do, obvious would be like Gravity Kit, Zach Katz from Gravity Kit. Obviously, he's a certified developer at Gravity Forms, but he's another adjacent Gravity Forms business. If I had no idea who Zach was, I would outreach them and say, hey, we got some B2B advantages if we work together, right? There's opportunity here if we work together. That's B2B, adjacent third-party brands working together. Another example would be Gravity Forms and ConvertKit, right? So we're working with ConvertKit on some marketing campaigns right now. B2B, hey, can we cross collab on our podcasts? Have somebody on the Breakdown podcast hosted by me. Can I be on your podcast? Can we share blog posts? There's the B2B side of outreach, which I think is a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit more task-oriented, like a lot of people sort of associate outreach with. And then there's the audience side of outreach, which is how I see it from the WP Minute side, where somebody says, hey, I got a product, you've got an audience, get me in front of your audience, right? You're not collaborating with another marketing person. I'm not going in your newsletter. You're not coming in my newsletter. That's, hey, I want to take advantage of that audience. And that's the issue at hand today. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, whoops, that's the wrong word. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, advantage. Is that a lot of brands take advantage of that situation. So I've set the frame, I've set the tone, we've built a personal brand, publishers, the WP Minute, WP Mayor, Bob WP, the repository, post status. We've built up this brand, and now the products want to come in. Let me pull up a tweet, and I want to take from my own Twitter before. From earlier today when somebody asked me about this. So I posted this before. If I screenshot this, let's see if I can pull that up. Go ahead if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments while I pull this up. Please share it with others if you're watching. So this is the tweet from earlier today. I can't believe how bad some WordPress companies are at outreach. And then Scott Buscemi jumped in with what's bad outreach look like. Zero relationship building. Relationship. Zero understanding of the brand. Understanding. Zero compassion. And zero value provided. And then only benefits them. 100% them. Okay? So that's the tweet. That's sort of the framing of this. Share my screen again. They should really make this a little bit easier to share that screen. I don't think I'm going to be able to get my my iPad back. How about that? There it is. So somebody comes in, like I got 2 emails this morning. Actually, I got a contact form come through asking from a very reputable WordPress agency, one that I know the founder well. And it was just a templated average email. Below average, right? It's, hey, we do this thing. Hey, we'll write this blog post for you to put on your website. And by the way, literally, all we're looking for is a backlink to our website. Backlink to our website. So there's that one. And then I have another one that came through from a direct Slack message that somebody said, hey, I'm following up from this email I've been sending you. Have you been sending me an email? I don't know. I don't even know who you are. So now, not only have you been sending me emails, which obviously if I'm not responding, I'm not interested. And then you're going to take it to a direct Slack message, which is new to me. I haven't ever really received the follow-up email. And this isn't, look, outreach isn't bad. I grew up in car sales, software sales, hosting, both audio and WordPress, like ran an agency. I understand you have to do outreach. In fact, you have to do outreach. You have to do cold outreach, but you just have to do it right. And when I get these canned responses, the WordPress space is only so big. Everyone kind of knows each other. You should at least spend some time strategizing. If I'm going to do a cold outreach campaign, how many companies are there in the WordPress space? Ones that you know, ones that are respected in the WordPress community, contribute to the WordPress community, engage with the WordPress community, go to WordCamps, etc. How many publications are there? I've named 60% of them, okay, who actually engage with the community. If you can't take this task-based outreach program that you're putting together and list 50 companies in an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheet, that you can curate and white glove a little bit more, you got some problems. For example, at Gravity Forms, when we're doing outreach, when we're thinking of partnership, I will write out the brands that I know, and others in the company will write out the brands that they know, ones that they have rapport with, ones that they actually have relationships with, ones that they've been friends with for 20 years, and say, here's what we can do with them. And when we approach them, let's understand a little bit here. Let's understand what they might want, what we might want, and then the rest of these items that I have listed here. So let's start with like relationship. Most of these folks want zero relationship. They don't want something that is surface luck area. They don't want personal branding and brand sentiment. They say, somebody at the company said, I need to build links because more links means more traffic, means more business. And my God, that's what we need. So there's zero relationship. And this could be like a cultural thing. Like in the US, I know it's a lot of like, hey, how you doing? How's things? How's the weather? How's business? I get it. There's a lot of dancing around the objective. It's okay to say, hey, I'm reaching out because we're launching this new product. You just have to be upfront. I'm reaching out because we're launching this new product. I know you have an audience. I know you've been doing a podcast. We would really love to get in front of that audience. That's okay to say. I'd really love to get in front of that audience. But here's what we can do for you. And not only what we can do now, but what we can do in the future together. Build that relationship. Or, hey, maybe our product isn't right for your audience. Boy, maybe it'd be great if I just bought you a virtual coffee or sat down with you for 15 minutes. Let me just share my story and see if it works with you. Okay, and I'm talking primarily just like when you're outreaching to publishers. If you're doing B2B stuff, maybe you guys can go, hey, we got 50,000 people on an email list. You have 50,000 people on an email list. We both augment each other's products and services. Let's connect. Very easy. But if you're reaching out to a publisher, let's try to build some relationship here. Let's go to number 2. A lot of this outreach has a very, look how terrible my handwriting is. A real lack in understanding, right? A real lack of understanding. God, my handwriting is terrible. A real lack in understanding the publisher. And in my case, it's a WP Minute. In other cases, it might be WP Mayor or the repository. How people don't spend 2 minutes reviewing what a website is about, what a publication is about. What's that last blog post? What's that last podcast? Spend some time with that list that you've created of your top 25 WordPress brands, because there's only so many of us, and understand what we all do. Understand the content, understand the host, understand the writer, understand the YouTuber. Spend some time understanding who these people are, and at least write it down for the next time you try to do outreach. Understand what it is. What is their product? So when you come to the WP Minute, the product is, it's a publication. It's a WordPress publication. I'd like to say it's a more professional WordPress publication, right? Because we're covering WordPress community news. We're covering WordPress, the ecosystem, like the business side of it and the impact of open source in the market for freelancers, for agencies, for product owners, for hosting companies. And they have, if I were assessing the WP Minute, there's a blog, there's a newsletter, there's a podcast, there's a YouTube channel. There's all these things that, yes, somebody might want to be outreaching for to take advantage of, but we can flip that script and say, hey, maybe we just want to be able to be in one of these products. So understand what it is, who you're reaching out to, and what it is they have to offer. Again, this might be a more cultural thing, and I know a lot of people running a business. I can name a few of my friends and colleagues who are like, Matt, I don't care about relationship and compassion. I just want that backlink. Hey, man, I get it. But we dig deeper, we do better. We talk about compassion. We talk compassion for the audience, right? When you're presenting your thing, are you just throwing this thing at me? Like, hey, here's this new product. Hope your audience loves it. Like, do you even care about what it is that my audience might be consuming, from you? Again, I say this might be a cultural thing. But having some compassion for the time, the effort, not only does it take me as a publisher, but the time and effort the audience takes to consume this stuff. Have some compassion for that audience. I don't want to know just about your shiny new feature that's 50% off or a lifetime limited deal. I want to know how it's going to affect my audience's life, right? What story are you telling to help solve whatever problems they might have? Value provided. Are you providing value in this relationship? Like, are we both getting value out of this? What am I getting out of publishing your stuff? I'm going to hit you with a WP Minute sales pitch in a minute. So if you are somebody listening to this who has done outreach and you're like, I don't know, what kind of value can I provide you? You can buy my product too. Much like you want me to sell your product. But what value are we providing? So if you want to get in front of my audience, well, can you take some of my top, again, just in my case, can you take my top podcast or my top video that I've done on my YouTube channel and share that in your newsletter, on your media, YouTube channel, podcast, whatever you have, get the value locked down. What are you going to do for me? Now, this is very telling too, like in the podcast space, something that drives me absolutely nuts. And you might know this if you're a podcast host of a podcast. When you take the time to find somebody, get them onto your show, run the show, interview them, hopefully you do it in a way that's educational, entertaining, or informative. They have a great time, you have a great time, and then they don't share it. Value disconnect, okay? Share my stuff, I share your stuff. That's the deal, baby. That's the deal. We're both providing value for people. And all of this sort of equates to this. It's just 100% about them, right? These pitches are 100% about them. I'm going to try to read something from this email that I received this morning. It's not being shared on the screen. Here's the contact form that came in from my website. Don't forget, if you are watching this, you have comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment box. I didn't tell anybody I was doing this, so it might not be broadcasted to too many folks. But hopefully the reshare works later. Here's the email I received this morning. Hi there. Not even Matt. Hi there. I hope you have a fantastic one. A fantastic one. I'm blank, writing from blank, WordPress development company with over 10 years experience and amongst the highest rated B2B companies. Do you do link placements at all? Alternatively, we would love to write a bespoke editorial piece on a topic approved by you, from extensive guides to short, snappy pieces. Just tell me if you're open to this option. I'll be happy to send you some ideas. The content we'll write for you completely free of charge, yada, yada, yada. We've previously been featured in a bunch of websites I've never heard of. Also, feel free to browse our extensive blog where we have some of our best work. Okay, now I have to do more work. Like, you didn't even send me the link to the blog post, like a link to your best blog post. All we'd like in return is a link back to a blank website. We'd also consider link article exchange opportunities. Well, I am so happy that you will at least consider an exchange after I provide you the exchange. Please let me know if that'd be all right. Or if there's any questions, please let me know. We got to do a little bit better, okay? There's only so many WordPress blogs, and if you're the manager putting these folks to task to do this task-based thing, which is the issue, because we're looking at it as just a task, not relationship building. We're looking at it as just a task, not a relationship building, not understanding, no compassion, very little value. If you're putting somebody to task, again, I can't urge you enough to spend some time understanding the top 25 publishers, top 25 podcasts, top 25 YouTube channels in our space, so that there's more context in these outreaches. And oh, by the way, you'll get more back. Had this person opened up with, hey, Matt, been following you for 10 years. Love this podcast episode that you did with Josepha Hayden Champissy. You spent a second, you read the transcript, and you pulled a quote. I really loved it when you said this to her. By the way, really appreciate what you do at the WP Minute. I have an idea for you. We'd really love to have a blog post on your site and punch into what that would be. Don't make me think about what it would be and then read your archive. Come in and say, we're very opinionated on customizing WooCommerce. I know your audience is WordPress professionals. We'll write it for WordPress professionals who are looking to optimize WooCommerce, because, by the way, That's what customers pay us for. Optimizing WooCommerce. You see how if we spent 5 minutes thinking about this, it would work better. Today's rant powered by Dunkin' Donuts. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment box. Share this with others. Relationship, understanding, compassion, value provided. Let me get into a little bit of a sales pitch for the WP Minute. Try to sell you on why it is I do what I do at the WP Minute and why I'm so passionate about it. So compassionate about it, so passionate about it. So number one, I love WordPress. WordPress. Capital P, just in case the pitchforks are out in the audience. I love WordPress, probably for the same reasons why you love WordPress. It's open source. Has a great community. Open publishing. Opportunity. One more thing. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Multi-billion. Do you put a hyphen between multi-billion or is it just multi-billion? These are the reasons why I do what I do. When I first started podcasting, it was to help me grow my agency. Didn't know anybody in the WordPress community. And now I continue to do it because of these reasons. So when I started, it was saw all these people in the WordPress space. Again, this is 15 years ago. Saw them connecting with others. I wasn't a developer. They were developers. They were speaking to other developers, which then led them to get more business building their agencies. So I said, I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to code. I know how to talk. I don't know how to code. So I started a podcast. Now I continue the podcast because I think WordPress is so important. Number one, open source. You can't do what you can do with WordPress with other mission critical apps on the internet. I can't take my phone and show up at Tim Cook's office like I can at Matt Mullenweg's office and say, you know, I don't like this button. I don't like where this is placed. Here's my comment and or suggestion. Can't do it. Won't happen ever in Apple, Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft has some open source stuff for sure, but you're not showing up talking about these mission critical things. You can do that with open source. That's the highest level of why I love open source. It's not the entirety of it, but I'm trying to narrow this down. Community. Without the community, there is no WordPress. Without WordPress, there's no community. I get it. Community is very important. The connections, the relationships, the friends, the colleagues, the frenemies, the competitors in this space is like no other. Gravity forms versus every other contact form out there. I know mostly everyone who's running these other contact forms. Love them. Hang out with them. Chat with them. Have them on the podcast. See them at WordCamps. It's amazing. Some of the best friends and relationships I have come through the WordPress community. Open publishing. Man, one of the most important things that aligns obviously with the open source side of things, but WordPress allows you to move your content around, publish your content, connect it to anywhere. It's your little silo, right? Until they take down the data center your website's hosted in, you could then run it on a Linux server in your house and host your own WordPress website until Xfinity shuts you down. Open publishing, you can publish the content, you can move the content, it's your content, it's not algorithmically driven, unless you're, of course, just leaning on SEO and all these other things, but this is your little corner of the web. Make it look however you want. Type, publish, whatever you want. Opportunity. Biggest opportunity, or one of the reasons why I love WordPress so much as well, is it provides opportunity for so many people. Allows me to have a job at Gravity Forms, allows Gravity Forms to have an amazing product to serve millions of customers. And it has the ability to, somebody is transitioning jobs. They want to get into tech. Learn WordPress, right? It doesn't have to be this insurmountable task in order to get into tech. You can learn that with WordPress. You can understand the fundamentals. And then, by the way, you enjoy all this other stuff that goes along with it. It's open source. There's an amazing community. It's open publishing. It's creating opportunity for you. You can build a website for $500 on the side, make $500 on a weekend, buy some more diapers for your kids like I do. Opportunity. And that's just scratching the surface. Primarily for the WP Minute, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. People say, wow, you have a WordPress podcast. That's all you get for listens, clicks, and views? It's a WordPress podcast. What do you want, man? There's only, what I predict, is 10,000 English-speaking people across the world who care about this stuff. 10,000 is my number. What's your number? But it's a multi-billion-dollar industry when you look at WordPress third-party ecosystem, themes, plugins, services, web hosting companies, maybe tens of billions. Yeah, definitely tens of billions of dollars once you start factoring in agencies, hosting companies, software service companies, all this stuff, plugins, themes, tens of billions of dollars. And I think it's when you weigh in all this other stuff, open source community, open publishing, and it's a multi-billion-dollar company or opportunity market, hey man, somebody's got to cover that. Might as well be the WPMinute.com. Here's the pitch. I've already told you how to get better at outreach. Hopefully. We got better. We got a check plus on outreach today. Care. Investigate. Find value. Let me go back to that slide. Build a relationship. Understand who it is you're talking to. Find some compassion with that pitch that's going to help reach that audience. Provide value for both. Because remember, most of us are building, our equity is based off of personal branding. Very valuable, hard to obtain. So don't try to take it from us. Outreach, we're getting better at it. You say, Matt, hey, you got this WP Minute thing. I want to reach out. I want to get in front of this audience. What's the best way to support you? For $79 a year, you can join the WP Minute Slack membership. That I'll do the math. I'll do the math in a second. $79 a year. You join the Slack membership. Another Slack membership, you say? Yes. What's the difference between the WP Minute and, say, the biggest market leader post status? Well, there's some nuances, but the folks who join the WP Minute Slack are those who really care, number one, about supporting the work that we do. Eric Karkovac, Raquel, myself, others who contribute content to the WP Minute. That's where your $79 goes. And yes, you get access to the Slack channel. I like to say that our Slack channel is meant for folks who really care about the WordPress news, like you really want to be talking about headlines that are happening, right? Civil, professional conversations. There's a random channel in there. You can have some fun. But we're here to largely talk about what's happening in the news. Think of our Slack channel as like this stream of news in real time, and we all hop in and out and talk about the different headlines. The other value there is the more you participate, hey, you see a news article, you share it. You've got a news article, you share it. And at the end of the week, that's how we curate the news for our newsletter and our podcast. That $79 is the best way to support the WP Minute and get involved with a group of professionals. What else? Handwriting is atrocious. Have I said that yet? Hey, the handwriting is atrocious. $15 or $50. You have a new launch, you have a thing you want to promote, we have a classified section. That classified section goes into the weekly news blog post, the weekly news newsletter, and it goes on the classified page. And you buy them in weekly blocks or weekly chunks. $15 for 1 week, $50 for a month, 30 days, 4 weeks. So you say, oh man, $79, can't afford that. I'm only making $300,000 a year on plugins. Well, $15 could get you that weekly spend of saying, hey, we got a new version. And by the way, it's all self-serve, the WPminute.com/classified. You go there, you click a button, you fill out your classified ad, tell me the link, as long as it's not spammy. I've denied people before. You give me $15, I publish it. $1,500. Foundation Plus. $1,500 gets you a Foundation Plus sponsorship. It's these lovely sponsors right here. The WP World hosting our image SEO, Big Scoots, Theme Isle, and Optimal. These are the folks who have invested $1,500 for an entire year. Gets them visibility and media like this that I create. These logos are across the website in every blog post. They go in every newsletter. And they're in the thank you credits in the podcast episodes that go out. This is the best value in media sponsorship across the WordPress space. Considering sponsoring a WordCamp, considering sponsoring a capstone, or what do they call them? Capstone WordCamps, the big ones, US, EU, Asia. If you're considering those are tens of thousands of dollars. And maybe not just for that sponsorship, for just sitting at that table, but of course, travel, accommodation, sending your team. Really start to, we're going to really dial in on ROI. When you come to me and you say, what am I going to get for that $15 for the click? You're supporting me, number one. Number two, you're getting out there in front of WordPress professionals. But Foundation Plus, $1,500 for the year to support our work and get noticed. We have pillar sponsors, a little bit more money for these pillar sponsorships. That's why you see great folks like Pressable, Bluehost, and OmniSend. Big companies, they get the cash. They can invest, and we do a lot more with them. We create content, really help pull on the threads of great storytelling for those brands. That's why they've invested in the WP Minute. It's the biggest way to show sponsorship and appreciation to continue the work that we do here at the WP Minute. Thank you, Pressable, Bluehost, and OmniSend. Thank you, Foundation Plus sponsors, the WP World, hosting our image SEO, Big Scoots, Theme Isle, Optimal. If you're a brand out there and you want to get connected with the WP Minute, let me know. Go to the WPMinute.com/contact and we can get connected. Okay. That was a big rant today. Josh Strebel joins. A man of many talents. A man of many cars. He says, hey, Matt. Successful outreach is all about building and selling a brand. It's a story backed by social proof. Couldn't agree more. Josh Strebel. Find him on the internet. Jobless Josh Strebel. Thanks for stopping by, Josh. Hey, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out today. Thanks for considering your outreach to the WP Minute. I hope everyone got a little bit of something out of today's live stream. I'm going to recap it one more time. Get good at outreach. Let's care a little bit more. Let's spend a little bit more time caring about the stuff that we're putting out, the people that we're connecting with, the brands that we're associating with. Creating a personal brand Should you? Yes. When you knock on somebody's door to say, hey, can I have a piece of your personal brand? You should be caring a lot more. Surface luck area. The more you do this, the more content you create, that personal brand, outreach, connecting with others. You're increasing that surface luck area. These aren't PPC, SEO, ads, and product. No, it's about rolling up your sleeves, connecting with others, increases your chance to do more things. That's what personal brand is all about. Super valuable and super hard at the same time. I talked about this, obviously through the live stream outreach, my background, my own studio, Slogan Studio, then Pagely, now Gravity Forms. I've done outreach with B2B strategies. Hey, you got a product, we got a product, let's talk. And hey, we got a product, you got an audience. How can we make this work? Don't just take advantage of the WP Minute and my colleagues and peers and frenemies. Build that relationship. Spend time understanding who you are, what you're reaching out to. Have some compassion for that audience. Provide value for everyone around. Don't just make it 100% about you. Reasons why I love WordPress. Don't forget the WPMinute.com/support. Join the Slack membership. $79 a year is the best way to stay. Best way to support us. The WPMinute.com/subscribe. It's the best way to stay connected. It's the email newsletter. Thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is just the podcast YouTube channel, not the WP Minute YouTube channel with all my tutorials and stuff like that. Check that out as well. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.